Record Bhutan. Yo, what's good? This is Chezza,
Kareem Fabian.
and this is the Casual Fan Marvel Review. I think that's as far as I'm going. Casual Fan Marvel Review. So is that CFMR? You know, it's funny. CFM. That's actually my initials. I never thought that'd
Okay.
have anything to do with anything at all. CFM is like close like a radio station.
Okay.
It's kind of funny that that actually works out that way. It just hit me right now as I was saying that because I was trying to find the MCU of it, but it didn't come out with an MCU.
Okay.
So, still going to change that. It's still going to change into a CFMCU. That's going to be the initials. I'll figure it out.
CFMU.
So,
Okay.
Casual Fan, Marvel, Critique, Universe.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yeah.
get. You're gonna hear. You're gonna see it. But yeah. All right. So we've gone through 3 episodes of Wandavision. We just watched the fourth. Right? It's the fourth.
Slim said he's just watching the third one. So I told him he could join when we do
Yeah, Royal
predictions
Rumble.
for Royal Rumble.
He's not ready for this conversation here.
Nah, at all.
Not at all.
Because this is where things ramp up.
This is dope. Like so. Okay. So the way that like I said, I broke it down. Do you remember any Easter eggs or any callbacks from it? Like actually, the biggest callback it gave us was
The blip.
or the unblip. So when the Hulk brings them all back,
Yeah.
that shit was crazy. So it answered a lot of questions, like because it made you think, like if I was in a plane and I got blipped out, what happens when I unblip? Am I still in the air? Am I in the plane? So if the plane is somewhere over there, that I just land on somebody's lap, or is it the position of where I was in the sky? Because if it's that, I kind of fall down out of everything.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So that whole unblip, even though it looked like a big superhero moment, it might have killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it made me think actually about the blip. Do you know? Because the way that in the comic books, Infinity Gauntlet, when he snapped, they snapped back to the point like right at that same moment he snapped, right? But in the movie, Tony Stark said we cannot do that because he moved forward with his life and had a daughter and didn't want to lose his daughter. So the whole everybody dying and all this stuff is truly on Tony Stark making that choice.
Yeah.
Because if they did the blip like the comic book, they would have went back 5 years to that moment and brought it back right away, and nothing would have changed.
Yeah.
So is Tony Stark really the hero, or was he just selfish?
Well, that's the great thing about that. That to me is one of the best things about the whole phase 1 through 3 is seeing who it starts with. Starts with Captain America, starts with Tony Stark, and look where they began. Like Stark is he's selfish, and then he makes the ultimate sacrifice. And then you get someone like Cap, who's blindingly loyal to the States, and then he gets to the point where he sees everything, and now he questions more. Now he's cussing in movies now, from the guy who was like, hey, language.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's like you get to see them develop all the way. So,
but I don't know, because you say ultimate sacrifice, but who was that ultimate sacrifice for? Was it for the world, or was it for his daughter?
why can't it be both? I mean, to save it for her, there has to be a world that she could live in. So
right, but at the same time, he didn't want to do it at first.
No,
and his rule was, we will do nothing to affect her.
Yeah.
So it's like, is he the big superhero? Like, it's just like even like how WandaVision is like blurring that line. Like, is she the superhero? Is she the villain? Like, you got to
Oh,
go back to that.
she's definitely the villain. We're gonna get to that.
Yeah. Well, still, that could be the red herring where
Yeah, it's
because
not necessarily her doing, but
yes,
she is doing it.
yeah, right. Like you said, we'll get to that because I was about to jump right in. I was like, hold on, we have a
We have the
a
structure
breakdown. So yeah, Maria Rambeau passed away. That's crazy. That's another reason why it made me think of that whole Tony Stark did it for his daughter. But what about people like Monica, who
And
lost
make
a
no mistake
parent in
about
that?
it. Make no mistake about it. This is the Monica Rambeau episode.
Oh, definitely,
This is
definitely.
this is her
It's her
explaining.
origin story, like
Yeah,
her origin story of how did she get into this whole mess.
yeah.
Um, when she came
Also,
back,
also,
no,
real
go ahead.
quick, sorry. During the very beginning, the blip, the unblip, when everybody came back, was it just me or did you see Tony Baker in there?
I'm gonna have to look back
It
again.
looks like it. If you look on your left, she's walking down the hallway,
Yeah,
and you'll see a guy, and he turns and he kind of looks away. He kind of looks like Tony Baker,
I'm gonna have to look at this now. I
but
have
it's
to go look
hilarious
it
because
up.
I stopped it a couple times and was like, "Was that him? Like,
Tony
could it
Baker.
be?" Yeah. I'm
Oh,
sorry. Go ahead.
I was about to pull up the episode. I'm like, hold on. It's like the first like 10 seconds, right?
It's very early.
So, no, let me put that down. Let me concentrate. Yeah. So Maria Rambeau's gone. I heard something about like Captain Marvel 2 had to do a lot of her on Earth. Or no, they're breaking down like Captain Marvel 2 was like 8 months after everything, and then this is 3 weeks. No, sorry. Spider-Man Homecoming is 8 months after Endgame, but this one is like 3 weeks right after. So this shows you like the early everything.
Yeah.
This shit is there's so much like
There's a lot.
information, like
There's a lot in this episode.
so much information. So yeah, so it tells a lot of the story. No, not it doesn't tell a lot of story, but it makes you question between Infinity War and Endgame. Remember how Captain Marvel, they did keep in touch with her, like the Avengers did. So she had to be around when Maria was going through everything she was going through too.
Yeah.
And remember, she got to a point where she's just like, you know what? There's other people I got to deal with. Like, there's other people. Like by that time, we know that she died.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why she was just like, bun it. Like, I got other worlds to go to. Like, I don't want to come to this world. Like,
yeah.
Because the little girl is gone. Because now we know she got snapped, and then Maria died. That was everybody she knew there.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they cover that also in Captain Marvel too, because that's a whole other storyline. Like,
oh yeah, you're definitely gonna get that. And also, I found an Easter egg, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
No, go to Easter eggs. This is the Easter egg section. Call
Oh,
back
this
to
is Easter egg.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Did you notice when Jimmy Woo was at the board looking for possibilities of who could be behind it?
Yeah.
Did you see scrolls?
No, I have to go back to everything. I was just thinking that this morning. I was like, man, I should rewatch it right now.
I watched it twice. He's got scrolls and he's got a question mark by it. So so then I have to think back. Where did he get the information on scrolls? I mean, I know it's Sword, right?
This should have scrolls. Yeah, because in the storyline at the beginning, they said that, or when she went to Sword, they said that her mother was part of the beginning of Sword. So she knew about scrolls.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Jimmy. This is Jimmy writing at the board.
Oh, yeah, he's not in Sword.
So
he's FBI.
So who briefed him on the possibility of scrolls? Because that's the first thing that you see under that header. The first thing you see is possibilities. Scrolls? So I was like,
I'm trying to think, where would scrolls, unless he is a scroll. Unless he is a scroll. Or maybe they have scrolls in the FBI, like they infiltrated everywhere, and like everybody knows they feel like they have a little piece of something, not knowing it's a full invasion.
now I want to see how far we're getting into this season of WandaVision, are they going to pay off anything with the scrolls, or is that the jumping point where they're going to start with Captain Marvel 2?
Or Secret Invasion, because which one comes first? Captain
Yes,
Marvel
yes.
2 or Secret Invasion? They have two shows that they can like. They have two shows where the scrolls are implicated, so it can go either way.
Another one I saw, which was interesting, the cop car, the cops from Eastview.
Yeah. That's crazy. Like that power is nuts. Like she had
But
them sitting there beside the sign talking about there's no such thing as a Westview. And like, so where are you from? Eastview. Like, you know what it sounded like? It sounded like two Toronto mans. Like, yo, are you from the West End or are you from the East? Like, yo, East. I'm from the East. Like,
but I noticed on the cop car, 1966. So I just looked up Scarlet Witch 1966, and the first thing that popped up was there was just a few Avengers issues
right.
that she's prominent in. So I thought that was interesting.
It could be a story. Yeah, it makes sense because a lot of their license plates you'll see are usually like
No,
Easter
not on
eggs.
the plate. It wasn't on the plate.
Where was it?
It was just like a number on the car, like it was like the car's number or something like that.
Oh,
right
okay,
above the tail lights.
Like the police car number,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But that's what they do. Like a lot of the numbers you'll see in there, look for them because they usually have to do with a specific comic book.
Yeah.
They might have drew a little something from, you know?
Yeah. I might have to check the plate again now and see if there's a tie-in with the numbers from the plate, because I just remember seeing NJ. It looked like a random New Jersey police department, so I was just like, all right, it probably doesn't happen. But I forgot. I should have cued in on the actual number and tied that to 1966. So
yeah,
I'll check that on the next one, the next go around, because I'm definitely gonna watch the episode a third time.
That shit. All of these episodes I gotta rewatch again, like 1 through 4, just to like see the progression till now again.
Yeah.
Like, what other callbacks or Easter eggs were there? So when she goes back to Sword, the guy is kind of shook that she's there.
Yeah.
He's like, "Whoa, you're back! I didn't expect you back." He didn't let her card go in. I'm like, that's cold-blooded, man. He's cold-blooded. He's flexing his muscle, like, understand who you are, right?
Yeah. I definitely think he has something to do with the antagonist role.
Oh, yeah, I heard a lot of people, I think it was either Emergency Awesome or the Rockstars, but they were talking like that. It's like, there's just something weird about him.
Yeah.
And just to, like, throw her over there, like, her first thing back is just, like, throw her somewhere that somebody went missing that everybody forgot about.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're just trying to get rid of her. And if she does get rid of, she might just go missing where nobody remembers who she is anyway.
Yeah.
And then his position at the head of Sword is there. But whole shit. You know, one thing I don't like the actress for like Darcy Lewis. I don't know if that's her real name or.
You don't like Darcy?
It's just like not in this role. That's her name, Darcy Lewis, in real life.
I don't know.
Okay, but
Darcy's the character, right?
Yeah, she's the girl from Two Broke Girls, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she was in the Thor movies.
Yeah, just as this, like, it's just like, I don't know, like
I
her
like
demeanor and the position, like she's portraying. I'm like, it's not believable. Like,
they don't like her, man. They don't like her. She didn't even get her coffee yet. She walked in there. She walked in there, told them what was what.
Yeah.
Said, yo, bring me an old TV. Hooked it up, whatever. Yo, she did more work for them in less than a day
than they did the whole time they were there.
And she still couldn't get a cup of coffee. It's cold. It's cold. She did all the work.
Yeah.
The whole time you just see bare people just running around.
I feel like I'm like mixing. No. This is the episode she gets blown out the wall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
where
perfect.
they show it.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Um, I'm like blending all the episodes together now. I'm just like, it's one big movie, you know? It's like one
Yeah.
big movie right now.
Yeah.
So, oh, when she crosses over, how it just sucks her in. I was like, it's like a TV, you know, it was kind of like Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Like how she was touching the TV screen and then she got sucked in. And then the whole beekeeper thing. So when the guy gets pushed underneath and then his string turns into a skipping rope,
Yeah.
he turns into a beekeeper. Oh, that was the whole thing. So every time they did that, that was the loud noises she was hearing.
Them entering.
Yeah. So at first, when we first heard it, I thought it was like somebody banging, like they were banging, trying to get through a wall or something. It was nothing close to a bang, but it's like it hit Scarlet Witch so hard when they get through that it came like a banging. Because when all the guy did was crawl underneath in the sewer, past that line, and that's when she heard the banging, right?
Yeah.
And then that's when he popped up and she came outside and saw him right there.
Yeah.
And then we got to see the helicopter wasn't actually like a full-size helicopter that turned into a little one. Because the first thing I thought was maybe that was the helicopter that Monica came in. Like she flew over and then all of a sudden it came down and was a toy. She fell out and then whatever.
Yeah.
So then we got to see that was just what's it called? I forget the word now.
The drone.
Yeah. It was just a drone that they passed through and it changed its color.
Yeah.
Color, shape to match the time, which is kind of nuts. She has the power that whatever she's doing on the inside, even if you cross through, you turn into exactly the time period that she's working.
Yeah.
Pretty nuts.
Now, I wasn't sure, so I figured I'd defer to you. When they started doing the investigation and putting faces to names and who's playing who, were there any names that you heard that were in the comics?
Not that I recognized. But at the same time, looking at it, I'm trying to figure out who is the person on witness protection. Like who is the person?
Vision. It's Vision.
No. Because you gotta remember, look at the end of the episode. Vision's not on witness protection. Vision's a freaking corpse.
Yeah, but he's who they said it was missing persons, right?
It was a missing person because it was a person under witness protection. I believe it was somebody that was under witness protection with the cops. That's why they're like, how doesn't anybody know who he is?
I don't know. For some reason, when I heard it as property, like property that was taken. That's the way I heard it. I don't know for whatever reason, but wouldn't Vision belong to one of the organizations?
I guess body-wise because he's an android, so it's pretty much they take. Well, the question is, where did she get his body? You know what I mean? Because she did get snapped, right? She got snapped, so Vision's body got taken somewhere. She came back 5 years later and had to find that body. So where did she find that body? We got to know that story now.
Yeah, because she definitely took it from somewhere, and it
had to be because nobody's gonna leave that type of technology lying around. You know, it's probably Tony Stark because Tony Stark was still around, and it's Tony Stark's property pretty much.
So, he's still playing it. It's crazy how he's still playing a major role. He's still playing
Tony
a major
Stark,
role,
man. He was playing the game all the way through.
Stark Tech, Toasters. His presence is still there.
On her psyche alone, that name alone strikes up like.
Yeah.
If the wrong person say that name. Hold on, I'm just trying to find information on this to see if it's if the person is a witness protection or I remember what you're saying about the body. or the missing persons. But I feel it was like the same thing. That's gonna be hard. Talk about that later. Bring that up later. But yeah, well, even bring up the whole Vision. Yo, when she turned and looked, and the freaking man had a hole in his head.
Yeah, and she looked down. She went like that. It was,
and then she fixed it up, and I was like at first when I saw that, I just thought it was like maybe it was just like the mind playing tricks on her again type thing, you know?
Yeah.
But then when she snapped it back, you're like, oh, that's actually what he looks like.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
And it's funny because I'm watching Emergency Awesome, and he's like cueing the Weekend at Bernie's jokes.
Straight up. Exactly what she's doing.
Actual factuals.
And to us, we already know he's dead. And then remember from the commercials, from the Halloween episode, that he goes to the window and Agnes is like, "You're dead," and he's like, "What?" And she laughs.
No, she says, "Are we all dead?"
Something like that. Yeah, are we all dead? And he's like, "Why?
Why would you ask that?" She goes, "Because you are."
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I think we're close to that too.
Yeah.
I think we're close to that episode.
Because what time period were we in last? The 70s?
We're in the 70s now.
So next episode is going to be 80s.
80s. But I think that's the episode where they're like, it's like some Halloween shit.
Yeah.
Well, because they're in the costumes and stuff.
Yeah. The 80s.
That's either the 80s or the 90s. So.
No, I think that's going to be the 90s. The 80s, I believe, is when Agnes has the big hair. Like, do you see the trailer for the next episode?
No, I haven't seen the trailer.
Ooh. So we'll talk about that at the end. I saw a few things.
Okay.
But yeah. Any other Easter eggs or callbacks from the episode?
And I think when I think of him as like stuff that'd be obvious to me, so I don't think of, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just kind of obvious, so I just kind of go with it. No, not that I can think of.
Okay.
Not that I could think of.
They filled in a whole lot of gaps. I feel like we just talked about that with the Easter eggs. Any like huge moments that when you saw, you're like, what the fuck is this? Like outside of like Vision with a hole in his head, that alone was crazy to me. Like that was like the man had a hole in his head.
Yeah.
Hole in his head. Like it just brought you right back to Infinity War when he got his head caved in. Like looking at it all, I'm like, yo, this whatever graphic animation, makeup, or whatever you guys did, that's nuts. That's one of those things Clarissa would do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, that is nuts. Like if people don't do that whenever they're able to go out for Halloween and have that whole the white, I guess you're gonna go white face, but and have the hole in your head like that crushed, man.
Yeah.
But actually, Agnes wasn't in this episode, if you think about it. You know who else wasn't on the wall?
Who?
Dottie.
Dottie wasn't.
Dottie was not on the wall.
I think what I remember seeing from Emergency Awesome was Agnes didn't have an ID.
Yeah, she didn't have an ID. She's
the only one that didn't have an ID. But no, I don't remember seeing Dottie on the wall.
Oh, Dottie. Was her husband on the wall with the mustache? I feel there's something about him. Him and Dottie. There's something about him and Dottie. I feel like he's actually the guy under witness protection. I feel like, or him or it's Dottie, but they have something like with those two that they're the ones nobody knows. That's why they're pretty much like running the place.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's getting interesting.
Oh, bit by bit, like. So, hey, thank God it's not like on TV, regular TV. Because you know how TV usually gives you like 4 episodes and it's gonna go like off for like 6 months, and then give you like 4 more episodes.
Yeah.
Thank God it's not doing that. I remember Walking Dead would be doing that, or like Game of Thrones. You're like, I gotta wait half a year for the next 3 episodes, just to wait another half a year for the last episode. Like, what's wrong with you guys? Man, Disney is changing the game. But yeah,
And I'm here for it.
but so you didn't actually see the trailer, or
No,
actually, no. Is there any other before I jump into that? Are there any other big moments from the episode that just stuck out to you, or have you looking forward to other storylines going into other movies or other TV shows or anything like that? Because right now, Sword is going to be crossing all of, is going to be across the board, right?
oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
Secret Invasion, Armor Wars.
and this is
Um,
actually supposed to happen before we were even revealed of Sword and Nick Fury up in the sky type thing. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
yeah. I like the Voodoo Child. I like how they
Mm,
use Voodoo Child at the end.
bro, this is. Oh, even that. So when she throws her through the wall, all I can think of is how'd she survive that? She went through a brick wall, a fence, a few other things, and then landed on the outside. More times, her magic like saved her or whatever, gave her like a little like shield, but still, you went through a friggin' wall, and she was still alive on the other end.
Yeah. There was when she was running in the hospital, she bumped into somebody and like they both fell, but I don't know, it was the way the other person fell. I was like, that's a little weird. And I thought maybe she had some strength or something.
Oh,
Something to it. Because she fell too, but there was something about the way the other person fell. I was like,
I think what the
that
other guy
doesn't.
who fell was unblipped at the moment, so when she ran into him, it was just a quick boom. Like, so I don't know.
I don't know. It
I
was
don't think he was
weird.
just standing there. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many. The whole unblip was just nuts to me. Like that was
Yeah.
crazy, and she didn't dust back either. She came
Yeah.
back in pieces, which is weird. They could see like it was like cubes. I saw what's it called talk about that. One of the two, either New Rockstars or Emergency Austin, and it goes back to the comic book of like House of M. So when Scarlet Witch was going crazy and like her mind was like really tearing apart, people were coming off in like little like squares.
Yeah.
So goes to that. The whole hospital scene. That was a crazy beginning. Like that was just a movie in itself. Like this episode was a movie in itself, which was
Yeah.
Monica's movie. That's big for her as like an actress, as an actor.
Yeah.
Like, before this, I don't think I knew who she was.
You have to go back and read up on her.
No, 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 not the character itself. I know the
Oh.
character, but I mean the actress or the actor.
Okay.
I didn't know of her before this whole movie. But in this movie, you're like, yo, she's dope.
Yeah. Yeah. I like her in this role.
And then after Wanda blasts her through the wall, she snaps back. So that's the moment where I'm like, there's
Something's
something
up
else at
because
yeah, something else is at play.
someone's pulling the strings because she felt you could see the remorse.
Yeah, but it could be, but it could be just after reading that whole story about Chad Wheeler and all everything going on with him, and the whole like being bipolar on how he went from this to that. Maybe it's still her, and there's something twisted in her head.
Could
So
be.
even though she does something real crazy, she feels remorse right afterwards, and it's like, so it could be either way. It could be somebody in her head, or it could just be the mental game or the mental story that they're trying to tell for this thing.
Yeah.
So it's still up in the air, but so hold on, let me tell you anything else before I jump into the one thing I remember from the trailer for episode 5.
It's on
Anything else?
YouTube.
Yeah. And what's his an emergency awesome where they did something over it, so about it.
Okay.
But trying to think. Vision came in, saw the whole. Yeah. So yeah, those are pretty much. So in what's next? So they have this part. This clip comes in. Vision, Wanda, and Agnes are standing there, and Agnes is looking at Wanda, and she's like, "Oh, something like I'm paraphrasing, but she's like pretty much like, "Oh, this didn't go right. Do you want to do this all again?" And she looks at Wanda, and Wanda kind of looks at her like, "What?" Because she's like, "Do you want to you want us to do this all again?" Like she like just like snaps Wanda out, like, "Holy shit, you know." So
Mm.
now it's telling that story. Like, hold on, why does Agnes know? So now there's that story of when did Wanda
Yep.
and Agnes really meet? Because if you want to go back to the whole comic book shit, Wanda had to go find Agnes because Agnes or Agatha Harkness was her pretty much teacher as a real witch.
Okay.
So pretty much teaching her how to use her powers. So that's what how came into play with the babies, the twins, and all that stuff. Because Agatha at a point started to begin babysitting for her, taking care of her kids for her. But every
Okay.
time something would happen to Wanda, the kids would disappear, and she's like, "This doesn't make sense. Where do the kids keep going?" And then when she come back, the kids were there again. To the point she's like, "Oh shit, this is magic." So she had to confront Wanda, and that's when Wanda pretty much snapped, like, "My kids are real." Then that's I believe that's when everything came into House of M.
Okay.
So Agatha should be playing that position now. So after everything, it could that's where maybe where Doctor Strange came into play as well. It's like, you know what, Wanda, you're back. I know you went through a whole lot of shit, and you're gonna need somebody to be able to mentor you into knowing how to use your powers right, and at the same time maybe be able to help you over here.
Yeah.
So once they do that, he's like, "Me, this is Agatha Harkness. She's a real witch, whatever, whatever." And say Agatha lives in Westview. Maybe that's where she lives, and that's why Westview got taken over. And she's maybe let's do a séance or some shit. Let's do something. They sit down, trying to help her open her mind. What's the life you want? What's you know what I mean? And then the powers are too much for her, and all of a sudden she takes over the whole block, and Agatha just like fuck. And now her mind is so like splintered. I can't just pull her out of this. I pull her out of
Yeah.
this, shit gets worse. So maybe that's why she's like, "Yo, is Gertrude in there with her? Like, what is she doing in there? Like, we gotta go talk to her. Like, what's in there?" And like when Herb is gonna say something to Vision, she's like, "Shut up! Like, no, like we
Yeah.
can't make her snap because once she snaps, this it could be the whole world fucked right now."
Yeah.
So that whole story itself, it's man, like there's so much. I sit here and I think and I make up stories now. Like I might, I might as well sell them a script and they're gonna be like, "Chez, the movies are it's already done. It's gonna
But
come
we
out soon."
appreciate it.
We appreciate it. Might call you next time, in your hindsight stories. But yeah, that one line that Agnes says where she's like, "You want to bring it back? You want to do this again?" In the middle of the 80s episode. This was the 80s episode. So it's like
Okay.
so more of the story is unfolding.
Yeah.
Oh, and also in the preview, we see Vision go up to the wall and he's like, "Yo, why can't we leave Westview? Like, what is it?" And I might be interpreting it wrong. I might have watched the wrong, whatever. But you see him going to touch it, and there's another thing where it looks like he's on the outside, and he's kind of like looks like he got like blasted, and he's kind of just falling out. So it could be as soon as he leaves, he goes back to being dead, and which is weird because most things that
Go
happen over
outside.
there should
I
be alive
still,
on the outside.
but
But we'll
it's what
see.
she creates or what's real.
Yeah,
So
I think it's gonna have more of the what's it called, um, the glitches, like that one where we saw where the girl's just hanging her clothes on nothing and crying because she can't
I've
move and
been
all that stuff.
I've been waiting for the moment where they do that thing where they're both on opposite sides and they kind of fall into the scene. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about?
Yeah. And he's in
I've
black
been
and
waiting
white,
for
and she's
that.
in color. Yeah, I feel that's within the next 2 episodes at least,
Yeah.
because I feel like Vision's gonna figure it out. Yo, I'm freaking dead. Like, how did we have kids and all this stuff? And he's like, if we leave this place, that's where they get to that point. Like, let's fight for our home, because he knows
Yeah.
he's like, I leave this place, we're dead. Like, so might as well keep me and you here.
Yeah.
So a lot of things, a lot of things.
But now to think about it, it's kind of it's a little sad. I just thought about it. Um, Scarlett Johansson, she was kind of at the beginning of the whole MCU.
Yeah.
She was so kind of supposed to be the first woman to really land the the star role, and this WandaVision is taking off, man.
Hey, they told her Scarlet. Scarlet will be the first woman to have her show.
We
Believe
didn't
us,
say which
Scarlet.
one.
We didn't say which Scarlet, but Scarlet will be. And she was big. They made the movie and everything.
It's
She was
called.
ready to
Okay.
drop. And when COVID dropped, they were like, sorry, babe. Sorry, babe. We're just gonna have to put you on the Disney Plus. Oh, do you know why? I heard about that. Why a lot of the movies, it's like it's hard to drop them all on Disney Plus is based off the contracts.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of the Disney movies are like, that's why they want you to pay for it. Because if you pay for it, then that appeases whatever happens in the contract, because people get money back. So
Yeah.
they end up having to pay more, which is billionaire Disney paying more money, paying more millions to people. We don't feel bad for you. We don't feel bad for you. You can just hand these actors 100 million each and call it a day,
Yeah.
and they'd be fine with it. Like, oh, okay, thank you. And when the movie theater does open up, I'll still get some. Yeah, okay, perfect. So, but yeah.
It's an adjustment period for sure.
So, what are you expecting for the next episode?
Oh man. I'm looking for Darcy to crack further into, how they're gonna get inside the world.
Do you
And
feel they're gonna blend both worlds now? Now that they expose the outside of Westview and the inside of Westview, do you think they're gonna blend both within a story now, or are they gonna keep it going from episode to episode, where this episode is Wanda and then this episode is outside until they collide in an episode?
I think we're almost there.
We're halfway there. You said 9 episodes, right? So we're pretty much
Yeah.
halfway there.
I think we're just there where it's gonna be that infiltration.
You think they're gonna get back in? Oh, as you say that. So another thing from the trailer is you see a big tank-like truck ramming into the force field on the outside. There's no saying that it got on the inside, but you just see like this big red light and reddish, pinkish, purplish light. So now that they have obviously first hand account with Monica going in and coming out, now they know they can go in, especially with the other guy too. But the other guy, I don't think he remembers it. I don't know if she rewind time on that one, or she just made him disappear. But I don't think he remembers it. So
Yeah. It's gonna be a good one. I look forward to the next episode, man.
next
So
episode,
many different so many different ways you can go with it.
hope they tell more of like the town people, like bring it back to the town people, because off of that last thing we saw with Herb, who it's not even his real name. So oh yeah, that's another thing. All their names aren't even their real names.
Yeah.
She gave them names as well. So when Monica said Gertrude, that might not have been because she was trying to hide her identity. It was the name she was
But
pretty much
not
given in that
Gertrude.
world.
Geraldine.
Geraldine. Why do you keep gonna say Gertrude? Old school names, man. But Geraldine, yeah, it was. I guess it's a name that she was given, and it's not a name that So it's like, how much control did she really have in that world? And how does her, like, even Wanda's power, like, does she have to be like, does she like fully control you once you come within a certain radius of her? Or is it full control at all times? You know what I mean? Kind of like Herb trying to like cut the freaking wall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's snapping. So, or even when the wife is saying, stop it. She sees it really happening, but she can't come out of character. So it's like, how much do you know in here?
Yeah. It's a lot.
And then Herb trying to say, yeah, because we're trapped here. Like, I think
The doctor
saying we can't escape. You know what I mean? So it's like, how much freedom do they actually have? Like, does her power make them wake up in the morning and go to work, do that meaningless computing job that they do, and then make them go all the way? You know what I mean? Does it make them play these parts?
I can't remember if I said it to you or somebody else. When Wanda takes Senior Scratchy into the house, and Agnes is outside, and the mailman passes her, and they said something, and he goes, "Don't kill me, I'm just the messenger." I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. And then she kind of like checks him out after.
Yeah.
In what's it called? Checks him out after. Plus, this is supposed to be the 60s at the time?
50s, 60s.
50s, 60s. So women really did not act that way. So there's something else going around. You know what I mean? Because she's supposed to be a married woman at that. Not just women. She's supposed to be a married woman at that. So she wasn't just checking him out like, what was this man delivering? Like, that's something else. What was he delivering? Was he delivering? No, it couldn't be real mail. Because we know that they forget everybody who was in there. They have no clue those people are there. So they're not even worried about mail. They don't even know where that mail goes. They probably bring it to Eastview.
Yeah.
Oh, Eastview, Westview. No, it's truly. It's like somebody from like west side of Toronto saying, yo, I've never been there. It's like, bro, I grew up with you. Not me per se. You know, I don't want you guys hating on me again. It's 2021. I'll leave the Rex alone.
Thank you. We thank you.
I'll leave the Rex alone. But yeah. This shit, I don't know. It's a whole. I'm gonna have to watch all these 4 episodes again, just because. When you guys see this one, I didn't get to post the last one, so they're gonna see the last one first, and this was gonna drop like the day after, and then from there we're gonna go consistently. It should be every Wednesday it drops, so 2 days before the next one. But yeah, next. Oh, are we gonna get Slim in here so we can talk to that?
Yeah, let me send him a message.
Okay. Oh yeah, so yes, again, this is the Casual Fan Marvel Critique Universe, the CFMCU, and
Marvel Critique Union,
the Critique Union. There we go. I'm gonna make that shirt. Yes, again, I'm Yaudish Chezza. Find on Instagram. Find us a Casual Fan Podcast on Instagram, and
at Shot Club Podcast. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell to stay notified. You never know when we're going live.
Blaka.